Hi children, I hope you're all well. So we're going to do some shape, space and measure work today. And we're going to continue with measuring with the length and the height, similar to how we did last week. So I just want you to have a think, turn your thinking caps on and just think, how do we measure in length? What does the word length mean? Just have a think about that. What does the word length mean? So when we measure in length, we're measuring how long something is. Okay, now having a think, what does the word height mean? How do we measure height? So when we measure height, we're measuring how tall something is. So generally speaking, long goes this way. If we're measuring length, we go this way. And if we're measuring height, we go this way. Now you can measure some heights by lying somebody down. I know some of you did this last week, lying somebody down and measuring along the side of them. You're still measuring what their height is, even though they're not standing up. Because normally when we talk about humans, we measure in height rather than in length. But most of the time, length goes along that way and height goes upwards. So very similar to what you did last week, we're going to do some more measuring this week with height and length. But this week we're going to focus a little bit more on the predicting side of things. So we're going to do some guessing, some predicting, some guessing, and we're also going to do some ordering at the end. So we're going to do that now. I'm going to show you what you're going to do, and then you're going to have a turn yourselves. So, whoops, let's go back. So this says, how many cubes long is the pencil? So we're measuring today with these maths cubes here. That's what I'm going to use, but you can use whatever you want. Now, last week I saw some of you use pasta, some of you use cars, some of you use Lego, whatever you've got in your house that you can use, but it's got to be the same thing because it's got to be accurate, okay? If you wanted to challenge yourself and use a ruler with a little bit of support from grown up, you can do that as well. That's absolutely fine. However you want to measure, that's up to you. I'm going to measure in these maths cubes. So it says, how many cubes long is the pencil? So we're measuring the length of this pencil. We're going to make a prediction. So this sentence here says, I predict that the pencil is cubes long. Okay. Prediction means guess. Okay. And it's a sensible guess. It's not 3,000 because there's definitely not going to be 3,000 of these maths cubes that are going to be the same length as that pencil. That would be a very, very, very big pencil, wouldn't it? So it's not going to be that. We're going to make a sensible prediction. When you make your prediction, I want you to make it in this sentence. I want you to say it out loud. And if you are, when you're doing your own, if you wanted to, you could write this sentence, or a grown-up could write the sentence and you just fill in the gap here. So the sentence is, I predict that the pencil is cubes long. Again, I predict that the pencil is cubes long. Okay, so I want you to make sure you answer in a full sentence. Okay, and when you do your own, as I said, if you write it down, make sure you say it out loud as well. So can you make a prediction now, and make sure you say it, use the full sentence to make the prediction. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to just make your prediction. How many cubes do you think are going to go along that pencil? Hopefully you've answered it in the full sentence, I predict. Okay, I predict that the pencil is cubes long. So let's have a look, and you can count with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we've got another sentence. The pencil is 8 cubes long. So that's another sentence that you can say after you've measured. The pencil is 8 cubes long. And if you want, you can write this down as well. Okay, next one. So how many cubes tall is the giraffe? So this time we're measuring the height of the giraffe. So again, we're using this sentence. I predict that the giraffe is cubes tall. I predict that the giraffe is cubes tall. Okay, so you have a thing, make a prediction. Okay, hopefully you've come up with something. Let's have a look. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The giraffe is 5 cubes tall. So there's our answer. So well done if you said anything around the 5 mark. The giraffe is 5 cubes tall. Next one, we're measuring in length, in height again. because it says how many cubes tall is the flower? We've got a daffodil here. How many cubes tall is the flower? I predict that the flower is cubes tall. And again, I predict that the flower is cubes tall. Okay, so make your prediction. Okay, well done. Let's have a look. Ready? Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The flower is 7 cubes tall. Can you say that? Well done. Okay, and just a few points. So remember, when we're measuring, whatever we measure with, we've got to make sure that they're pushed up right against each other to make it as accurate as possible. Don't leave any gaps. And remember to do careful, slow counting. So we're doing accurate measurements. Because children, if you were measuring somebody for a pair of trousers, let's say, and you weren't being accurate, that means doing it exactly right. It means that the person wouldn't have the trousers that fit them. So that's why we've got to be accurate with our measurements. Okay, now we're going back to length. So how many cubes long is the bird? I predict that the bird is cubes long. You say it with me and see if you can fill in the gap this time. I predict that the bird is cubes long. Hopefully you came up with an answer. Let's see. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The bird is 5 cubes long. Well done. And can you see, because I've measured something that's a bit of a funny shape, but I've gone right from its beak all the way to its tail. So the longest point this way and the longest point this way. Okay, next one. How many cubes long is the shell? Say it with me. I predict that the shell is cubes long. Fill in the gap this time. I predict that the shell is cubes long. Hopefully you came up with an answer. Let's measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. The shell is 4 cubes long. Well done. Right, last one. Now we're measuring how tall is the Lego man. How many cubes tall is the Lego man? Say it with me. I predict that the Lego man is cubes tall. Oh, yeah, that had 10 words that time because Lego man's 2 words. And again, I predict that the Lego man is, you say, cubes tall. Hopefully you came up with a prediction. Let's have a go. 1, 2, 3. The Lego man is 3 cubes tall. Well done. And just a reminder, children, when we're measuring how tall something is, we go upwards like that. When we measure how long something is, we go along the bottom or along the top. Okay? Right, now we've measured, we're going to put our items in order, starting with the shortest and ending with the longest, or if we were doing height, shortest to the tallest. Okay, well, smallest to the longest, shortest to the tallest, I should say. I'm not going to mix up the length and the height measurements. I'm just going to group them together because I did 3 of each. So starting with the length, my shell was the smallest, the bird was the next one, and the pencil was the longest. Okay, now going to height. The Lego man was the smallest or the shortest. The giraffe was next. And the daffodil or the flower was the tallest. So what I've done is I've predicted how tall or long something is. I've measured how tall or long something is. And then I've put the things I've measured in order. But I haven't mixed up length and height. I've done them separately. So what I want you to do now, children, well done for your amazing predicting and measuring, helping me measure there. What I want you to do now is I want you to choose a few things around your house, but I don't want you to get mixed up. So I want you to either choose if you're going to measure them by length or by height. Don't do both, just choose one, length or height. It's up to you what you choose. I want you to choose a way of measuring. So as I said, you can use cubes if you've got them, Lego blocks, any other kind of block, cars, pasta shapes, buttons, whatever you can get your hands on, use those to measure. Before you measure, I want you to make a prediction using that full sentence. I predict that the, whatever you're measuring, is cubes, buttons, whatever you're using, long. Okay, you can write the sentence down, or you can get mummy or daddy to write the sentence down and you fill in the gap, or you can just say it. Okay, and then you're going to do the measuring. So you're going to measure it, and then it might be a good idea to write down the full sentence for this one. So the whatever it is, the car is 10 buttons long. Okay, write that sentence down. And then once you've done that, I want you to order all the things that you've measured. So you might want to choose maybe 4 or 5 things, so you've got a good order, starting with the smallest or the shortest and ending with the longest or the tallest. Okay, so I hope that you get on with that. Okay, take some photos for me to see, because I love seeing your measure work on a Friday. It's always really nice and practical, and I know you will really enjoy it. So hope you get on with that. Okay, and I'll see you later. Bye.